Thanks for joining us. You're watching the news with me, James Chow. 60 minutes of all the latest from China and the world. Well, let's start today with the Olympic torch relay. It continues its domestic journey in Tangshan in northern China's Hebei province. The first torch bearer was Qian Hong. She started the relay in Tangshan Sports Center just after 8 in the morning. The 37-year-old swimming star has won 30 national titles and has taken 51 world championships in her swimming career. She won a gold medal in the 100-meter butterfly at the Barcelona Olympics back in 1992. Now, Tangshan is a famous city, of course, which recovered from a disastrous earthquake back in 1976. 208 torchbearers will plaster flame along a 10-kilometer route. That relay is set to continue for 4.5 hours in total. Tangshan is the final leg in Hebei province. The relay will then head to Tianjin on Friday. Now, during the Olympics, China Central Television will be bringing you a bird's eye view of the bird's nest and other major Olympic venues. CCTV took its helicopter on a test flight on Tuesday, capturing images of both the facilities and the Olympic village from high above. Li Xiang was there.
The Bird's Nest National Stadium is the Beijing Olympics' iconic centerpiece. Covering 21 hectares of land, an 80,000-seat stadium will also host the opening and closing ceremonies. The 6,000-seat Water Cube National Aquatic Center will host the swimming, diving, and synchronized swimming. North of the Water Cube lies the National Indoor Stadium and Fencing Hall. And then comes the largest city park in China, the Olympic Forest Park. The 680-hectare park will serve as an emergency shelter for athletes and spectators. Next to the park is the 128-meter-high Olympic multi-purpose TV tower. It will be used by TV stations from around the world to report the games. If weather permits, CCTV will use the helicopter to provide overhead shots 2 or 3 times a day during the games. Li Xiang, CCTV.
Great pictures, but back here on the ground, the opening ceremony for the Beijing Olympics will go through 3 rehearsals before it's finally seen by an audience of billions of people on the evening of August 8th. That first rehearsal took place on Wednesday night at the Bird's Nest National Stadium. The other 2 rehearsals will be held on Saturday and also next Tuesday. Now let's cross now to our special series, which is called 2008 and Beyond. Today we're going to look at this. When Beijing won the bid 7 years ago to host the Olympics, the city promised to improve its environment and to host a Green Games. Our reporter Zhang Lu takes us now to look at some of the changes here in the Chinese capital.
A nice day begins. At this newly renovated community park, many people are doing morning exercises. Su Weigui comes here every morning to fly a kite. He enjoys the time he spends in the park.
There
were many changes in the past year. Now it is green all around, much better than before. Recently, flowers were also planted.
Su says the green environment brings him a lot of pleasure. Similar parks were also built in other parts of downtown Beijing. Residents are happy to see their city become more like a garden. In the past 7 years, Beijing's green spaces have increased by more than 51%.
Making the city look green is only part of Beijing's efforts to fulfill its Green Olympics commitment. Improving the air quality is also included in the Green Plan, and much is being done to help turn the skies bluer.
Liu Guoliang's job has made him very aware of the changes. He has been a volunteer at a bus station for more than 4 years, and the work has exposed him to emissions of all kinds of vehicles on the road.
It's much better now. There is no smell and no black smoke.
The improvement of his working environment has taken a lot of effort. In order to reduce emissions, the city increased the vehicle exhaust standards, replaced buses, and upgraded the emission system for its 67,000 taxis.
Days with better air quality now account for 70% of total days in the year, up 40% from a decade ago. Especially since the start of the year, major pollutants have dropped by a further 20% from the same period last year.
Measures to reduce pollution also include closing and removing polluting factories. Beijing Capital Steel and Iron Group is one of the China's leading steel makers, but also the city's major polluter. It started relocating its plants to Hebei province in 2005. During the Games, the plants will cut monthly production to only 27% of the usual output. The company says the economic sacrifice is not only for the Olympics.
As the country's capital, Beijing is going to become an international metropolitan and a desired place to live in, so industrial adjustments are imperative. Energy-consuming industries will undoubtedly be eliminated. It's just a matter of time. We won't remove the company only for the Games. The significance is far beyond that.
Far beyond hosting a Green Olympics, plans are to continue the trend after the Games. 140 billion yuan has been invested in reducing pollution. This will benefit city residents in the long run rather than just impress foreigners attending the Olympics. For Beijing, the August Games is not the finish line, but a new start for becoming a green city. And in this city, Su Weigui will always find a nice place to fly a kite.
All these measures, of course, are not only for the Olympics. After the Games, we will enjoy green environment as much as now. It will become even better.
The Olympic Games will come and go in 20 days, but the effects of all green efforts will remain, and it will help shape a new city with a desirable environment and economic sustainability, and that may be the best reward Beijing can get from hosting the Olympic Games. Zhang Lu, CCTV, Beijing.
As the Olympics draw over nearer, foreign visitors are beginning to arrive here in Beijing. Some choose to experience local life and culture to its very fullest by staying with an official Olympic host family. Anna Zhang takes us to Dajingsi Hutong, where a German couple have just arrived.
Before coming to Beijing, Simona enrolled in a 10-month Chinese language program at the Humboldt University of Berlin. She was eager to learn about local customs and wanted to make ample preparations for her visit to Beijing. Living with an Olympic host family also provides an opportunity to experience the lives of ordinary Beijing residents. Simona was welcomed to Beijing with a Chinese-style breakfast consisting of soybean milk and fried fritters. Host Wang Zhixi says her family has hosted foreign guests before, so she can communicate in simple English. The old couple hopes their new guests will feel at home.
We want to share our home and our way of life with our friends from all around the world.
Before, during, and after the Olympics, the host families inside Dajingsi Hutong expect people from Britain, the U.S., France, Japan, and other countries. They are fully prepared and looking forward to welcoming their guests. Anna Zhang, CCTV.
You're watching the Lunchtime News live from Beijing. We'll be back after this break with these stories and much more. Stay with us here.